And welcome back on Take Action News this Saturday, March 30th. This is Daniel Marins in the host chair today for David Shuster, who's out on assignment these next couple weeks. You're watching and listening to Take Action News with David Shuster. And joining us now is our favorite recurring guest, co-owner of We Act Radio and consultant and head of Libertas Consulting LLC, the great, the only, Viral Cliff Schechter. Cliff, how you doing?
I hope it doesn't mean I have some kind of a virus I'm unaware of, Daniel. But thank you.
It means that anytime you're on the show, that YouTube video goes viral.
Oh my, I fear for the world. But I'm glad to know what's happening.
So, Cliff, there's some talk this week, of course, that our good old friend Senator Rand Paul and his amigos, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, the crazy caucus in the Senate, if you will,
Yes.
Perhaps, though I like Rand on some issues, and I like that he's principled. I like that he took that 13-hour filibuster for drones.
Yes.
They're saying that they'll stop any gun legislation with a filibuster, and including universal background checks, and some of the logic there is incoherent. Rand says the background checks we already have are okay. Mike Lee says that background checks are essentially unconstitutional. They'll lead to this huge government database. But the question is, why doesn't Reid just work around them? Because in the recent non-filibuster reform that we had, there were some improvements, and one of them was that the majority leader can bring a bill to the floor unless, so long as, rather, both sides have the opportunity to vote on 2 amendments apiece. What's holding Harry Reid up?
Well, 2 parts to that question. Let me answer them both. The first part is, yes, the crazy caucus, as you called it, their arguments are they're unhinged, they're incoherent. I mean, it's so easy just to pick them apart, it's almost not even a challenge. The whole claim that there's going to be this big database, this big registry that's going to come from having universal background checks. We already do have the Brady background checks of all federally licensed dealers. We've had that since 1994. Have we created any kind of a big registry? No, we haven't. If it's unconstitutional, how have we been able to do that with federally licensed dealers since 1994? The answer is we were able to, and even under the Heller decision, a very right-wing decision by Justice Scalia, which took the interpretation of gun rights to the far right of where it's ever been before, they still said that there can be background checks. So these guys aren't making any sense, and I'll say quickly, that's the reason why I still was critical of Rand Paul, even why I said, if he wanted to stand up on drones, that's terrific, but while he still makes unhinged arguments that will end up getting Americans killed, I'm not going to give him too much credit, because let's be very clear here. That's what they're doing. They're trying to put guns in the hands of criminals, of terrorists, of those deemed mentally unfit to have them because they're dangerous. There's no other reason. There's no other reason to block these background checks. On the Harry Reid part, yeah, I mean, look, this is the further disappointment. I think I've said it on this show before. I've said it in many other places. He shouldn't be the leader of the Democratic Party if he can't take a stand on important issues like this. Maybe it's because he's from a swing state in Nevada, whatever it is. I'm tired of the Tom Dashells and Harry Reids, and people don't feel like they can take strong stands. Maybe we need people from more blue states. I don't know. But as you pointed out, the one reform they made was the motion to proceed. Each side gets to offer 2 amendments. There's no filibuster then, and after they debate, then they can hold up the bill and they can filibuster it. I would think that a more stringent background check right now, where the records are kept, is going to be a very close vote. Mark Kirk and the Republican Party has signed on. Supposedly Susan Collins, John McCain, and a couple others are contemplating it. And then Dean Heller, who's also from Nevada, and then you've got a version that Coburn wants due to this crazy fear of registration, which would never happen, which means you destroy the records right after you do the background check. Now, look, that's still better to me than nothing. And so I think in the end, if they have to do that bill, they'll do that bill. And if Tom Coburn signs on, you could see Johnny Isakson, who's talked about signing on, and Jeff Flake and some more conservative Republicans sign on, and then you're talking about a bill that can pass, certainly. So I think we're going to get a background check bill in one way, one manner or another. The question is, will it be a stronger one or a weaker one?